Hey, what's up? Let's check out today's news. Do you ever feel like your phone's listening in on your conversations and taking note of what you're saying and doing? It might sound a bit far-fetched, but a popular app in Europe's just been fined around $400,000 for doing just that.
La Liga. It's the Spanish soccer league famous for featuring some of the game's greats. But now it's become famous for spying on its fans. It's just been caught out using its official app to listen in on people's conversations and pinpoint their locations. See, installing the app gives it access to your location and microphone, and in some cases it's turning those features on in order to find out exactly where people are and to listen to audio of games being played. La Liga's trying to find venues pirating games they haven't actually paid for, and says it's not interested in recording your conversations or your personal info. So while this stuff is technically in the terms and conditions, Spain's data protection agency says it's not clear enough. It's hit La Liga with a fine of more than $400,000. Lots of people aren't happy they've unknowingly been recorded, and it raises a lot of questions about what our apps are really doing. So how can you protect yourself? The best thing you can do is review permissions in the App Store before you download anything. Check your settings to find out what your current apps are giving access to, or, the most effective solution, switch off entirely. Now what do I do?
Did you know that the most peaceful country in the world is, drumroll please, Iceland? Not Australia. We're 13th. That's according to this year's Global Peace Index, which looks at how countries around the world are doing with things like war, violence, and politics. And for the first time in 5 years, the world is slightly more peaceful. Good news. You'll probably notice that a lot of your mates are interested in the same stuff as you are. It's one of the ways we humans decide who to hang out with. And it turns out some dolphins do the same. A new study's found dolphins using the same foraging technique tend to spend more time with each other. The study looked at the habits of 124 male Indo-Pacific bottlenose dolphins in WA, also known as sponges, because they use sea sponges to look for food, and apparently that helps them to become BFFs. Let's check out what's been going on in the world of sport.
Australia's back to its winning ways at the World Cup after beating Pakistan by 41 runs. That was largely thanks to Dave Warner, who scored a century. He was pretty stoked, as you can see. It was his first century since returning to the Aussie team after a year-long ban for his part in last year's cheating scandal. The St. Louis Blues have pulled off a fairy tale win in the NHL's Stanley Cup playoffs, ice hockey's biggest club competition. At the beginning of the year, the Blues were ranked rock bottom in the league, and no one expected them to make the playoffs, let alone win the whole thing. The team thrashed Boston 4-1 in the final match of the final series.
And the glory belongs to the city of St. Louis. The Blues are 2019 Stanley Cup champions.
And just to make things even sweeter, it's the first time the St. Louis Blues have ever won the Stanley Cup.
Get excited for our next segment. It's all about going bananas. Visitors have been having a very good time over at LA's latest pop-up museum, World of Fruit. As you can see, it's an Instagrammer's delight with 8 interactive installations, including watermelon swings and seesaws and a fruit pit. A portion of all tickets sold goes towards providing food for people in need, so that's nice. This cat's clearly going a little bananas, and maybe its owner is too, because he's convinced his pet's doing pull-ups. The post blew up on Twitter with others showing off their cat's workout routines and guessing what the original cat will look like in a few weeks. And check out this banana-loving creature. 7-month-old Tony, is learning how to walk, a pretty familiar sight for us. Chimpanzees, just like humans, are pretty useless when they're born and need a lot of love and help in their first few years of developing. Oh, it's just too much. You know what you should do right now? You should subscribe to our channel. Can you tell everybody to subscribe, please? Thanks, phone. And let us know, have you had any instances where your phone's been spying on you? Comment below.